Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Econobox Garage. In the previous video, you will have seen that the first startup and initial drive around the block. This resulted in several comments asking if that was it for the Bugeye project and what's next. You'll be pleased to know, I hope, that there's still lots to come. I've rewritten the punch list on my whiteboard and I'm sure more items will be added as we go along. In this episode, I get started on getting the soft top ready to put on and also correcting an error on my windshield installation. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Well, now that I've got the car on the road and street legal and working out some of the little bugs, there's still lots of work to do. And one of the first things I'm going to do is start to work on the soft top and the side curtains. So I have a two-piece set of top bows. Now the Bugeye originally had a single or a one-piece setup, but this is what came with the car, so this is what I'm going to run with. So basically with these, I've checked the mechanism and everything is working as it should. So I'm just going to clean those up and give them a coat of the gray paint. And then I also have a set of side curtains to go along with that. And as you can see, there's absolutely no weather stripping on them at all. All the felting from inside that kind of holds the sliding panel in place, that's all gone. The brackets need some refinishing, so that will be a project in and of itself. So the plan with these is to replace all the weather stripping, replace the plexiglass, just basically refinish those, and I've got them for both sides. So that's going to take a little while. And then just up on my top shelf here, you can see I have a hard top. Now I understand that's an original factory hard top for the Bugeye, but all the weather stripping is missing, the back window's missing, there's some structural damage that I have to repair. But it did come with the clips, and I don't know if you can see that there, kind of where the bungee cord's hooked on. So I do have both the clips for that, and they're in operating condition. So that's going to be another project that over the winter. So there is lots to do. Oh, and in that cardboard box there is the new soft top. The plan initially here is to the top bows refurbished. I'll get the soft top installed, and then I'll start working on the side curtains. So this is the box that the soft top came in from Prestige Auto Trim Products in the UK. It was very quick delivery and a very good price, and I'll put a link to their site in the description below. It did come, or does come, with all the hardware pieces you need, all the 10X fasteners, the lift dot fasteners, and the quick turn ones that go just by the doors. So those are all included. Those do have to get installed. So I'll just get this out of the box. Now I have had this out of the box a couple of times, so it may not have gone back in exactly as it is here. So let's just flip this over. And it comes with the plastic windows protected on both sides, and I'm quite impressed or quite happy with the quality of the material on this. And just a couple of things I want to show you. So this bar here, which is fairly substantial, goes in a pocket on the back edge of the top, and I did have that came with the car. This is a smaller one that goes in the pocket at the front, and this whole thing clips into a slot in the top of the windscreen, but I'll show you that when we get to it. Now I didn't have one, so I've made this one. So I contacted a friend of mine, and he loaned me the one from his car, and I used that as a pattern to make this one here. It is a tiny bit shorter, but I don't think that's going to be an issue, and it's just from local hardware store Lowe's. It's aluminum, and it was soft enough that I was able to get the bend in it that I needed along this way here. You can see the two pieces match curve-wise. This one is a little bit more flexible than this one here, but I'm very positive it will do the trick. It's the right thickness, it's the right width, and it's just about the right length. Now here's the top I just laid out here. There's a bar that's quite substantial that goes across the back of the top in a little pocket here, and that hooks on to the two little teardrop fittings on the rear deck. So there is actually, you can see that this actually goes past these holes here, so it's a little bit of a challenge to get in, but there is a bit of a gap right here where we can slide that in. Make sure it's underneath and just push that all the way through. Make sure it doesn't get caught. And then just get that as close to centered as possible. And I think we're about there. So when you're installing it, you clip the steel bar over the two teardrop fittings through the opening in this pocket here. Now for the front, it's a lot easier, and it just slides in from one end and just like that, and that's done. Well, I'm making progress sanding and cleaning up the top bows. I've got one half almost all done. I'm going to run some brake clean down through here, through this mechanism, to get that cleaned up. And so some final touch-ups on this. I'll get, I've got to take a bit more of the yellow off here. But quite happy with how that's turning out. So let's get back to work. So here we have a little bit of the before. And the after. I still have a couple of touch-ups to do on this one here, but now I can get to work on doing the other half. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I have a set of top bows from a later Sprite, which is the two-piece one. The original Bugeye set would have been one piece from side to side, but this is what I have, and that's what I'm going to run with. Now, what I've done to help with painting, I'm just set up outside right now, so I've got a piece of threaded rod, same one I used to remove the springs from the front suspension. So I've just got that double nutted onto a piece of scrap. That way I just put the section of the top bows on there and holds it good and firm, and I can do whatever I need to do with the paint. Well, there you can see I have both sections of the top bows all painted up and ready to go. I do have a couple of touch-ups to do, but I'll look after that a bit later. And this is what I used to paint that. It's Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch 2x Ultra Cover. I got a paint and primer in one. That's the same paint that I used to paint the engine bay, so everything matches. And this is actually a very close match to the original color, which I think was called a Cumulus Gray. So it's close to stock for that. So now that that's done, I can get ready to install the top itself. One of the things that I've done that I have since learned is perhaps not the correct way is I've left the flange or lip of the gasket between the windshield frame and the cowl pointing forwards. Now, from what I understand, it's actually supposed to go underneath, and that would avoid what you see here with the gasket going up and over that. So I'm going to tuck that back under as carefully as I can, try not to damage the paint, so I don't want to have to loosen any screws off or take anything off for the windshield. So I'm going to get that and then see what the result is like. Okay, and what I'm going to use is just a little plastic scraper. This is actually from Pampered Chef, but you could use anything that's not going to mar your paint. This is just what we have on hand, so let's give this a shot. Well, it's got that tucked back underneath, and I just have a little line of dirt to clean off here, so I'll just get some cleaner out and polish that up, and it does look a lot neater over top of the wipers. And that was actually quite straightforward, and that was quite straightforward a job. I may have to just trim at the ends here, and that doesn't look too bad. So there's another little task checked off the list. But that's all I have time for this episode. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to share it with your friends. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget that little bell icon. Click on that and you'll get notified when the next video comes out. And if all goes according to plan, that next video will be installing the soft top. If you'd like to get a hold of me directly, you can do so at the email address at the bottom of the screen, and it'll also be in the description below. My name is Ian. This is the Econobox Garage. We'll see you next time.